today's episode, I'm talking to Sarah Latham from Friends and Canines, which is a natural dog treat company founded in 2019. When lockdown began, the business really took off, and now Sarah has a thriving business delivering to happy pooches throughout the UK. So hi, Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
That's okay. Let's start, as we always do, by getting you to tell us a little bit more about you and how you ended up starting your lovely dog treat business.
So my name's Sarah, and yeah, I am a bit of a crazy dog lady. I have 6 dogs of my own, and back when I got Harvey, almost 7 years ago now, he was quite unwell as a puppy. He was a giveaway, and so I swapped him onto a more natural diet, which led me down the route of then obviously switching to natural chews. So yeah, it was just a personal interest of my own, and then my friends wanted to share chews with me, and eventually it just came about that I might as well set it up as a business.
Yeah, that seems to be the most common thread, actually, with a lot of people that I've spoken to. It's all, and I suppose that's why they're successful, is because they are finding an interest or a gap in the market that they're thinking, well, I can fill it. So that, yeah, that's always the best way to start, isn't it? So what was the process for you? Because you were working full time, weren't you, at the time? So what was the first step that you took when you kind of made that decision?
Yeah, so I was working full time, and firstly, my business was just set up as a Facebook page. I just added my stuff on Facebook. People used to message me what they want, and then I message them back with the cost and a PayPal link. And that's just how it was. It was just a bit of a hobby. I like talking about dogs. So yeah, it was just a hobby and a Facebook page at first.
And at what point did you realize that, okay, it needs to be more than just a Facebook page? Because there's a lot of to and froing with a Facebook page. You've got to do the messages. It's a lot of work for you, isn't it? I would have thought, to actually get to the stage where somebody's placed an order. What point and did you decide that you needed something different?
Yeah, well, it was exactly that. It was just so time consuming, messaging people back and forth with links, checking they paid, then checking it was the right address. Because, if people have moved, they don't always think about changing it on the PayPal account. So yeah, it was a lot of messages back and forth, and then just printing labels to get to the post office. It was just, yeah, really time consuming. And yeah, people really seem to like the product. So I thought, we need to go further with this.
And so I guess you just decided that you needed to build your own website. Is that something you did, or did you get somebody else to do that?
Well, to be honest, I really have basic computer knowledge. We didn't have computer lessons when I was at school. So, I had no idea how to build a website. I had no idea whatsoever. So I started looking into, companies that build websites for you. Yeah. And I was just shocked at the price. And there was no way, it was a hobby, wasn't even a business at that point. There was no way that I could afford to pay somebody to build a website. So to be honest, I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do now.
So what did you do? What was the next step? How did you, because you have a beautiful website now.
Thank you. Yeah, so one day an ad just popped up on Facebook. Learn how to make your own website for free in 21 days. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I was just thinking I need to build a website and up pops an ad. Obviously now I know about retargeting. It all makes sense. But yeah, back then I was like, wow, that's amazing. Just I'm thinking about something and up pops an ad. So yeah,
like Facebook knows what you're thinking.
Yes. So yeah, I've got a fabulous mentor, and it was a real struggle to get it built in 21 days. But that was the challenge she was running at the time, to obviously try and test whether it could be done.
Yeah. And so what platform was she building it on? Because obviously you needed an e-commerce website. I'm assuming that she was she just doing specifically e-commerce websites in the challenge, or was it just anybody wanting to build any kind of website?
No, so there was other people like building service websites. I think I was the only one that added a shop. But yeah, so it's a WooCommerce and website. So that's all she teaches is building on WordPress. So yeah.
And so you managed to do it in the 21 days then, and
Just
have a functional e-commerce site at the end of that?
Yep.
That must have been so exciting for you.
Day 22, I actually got my first sale on the website.
Amazing. Wow. What a sense of achievement, because as you said just now, you don't have a lot of tech background. It can be so daunting, can't it, when you start digging into this stuff and trying to figure out what you need to do. So yeah, to have somebody guiding you through that process must have been such a godsend at the time. So you launched your website, and then I guess you must have did you have a decent following on Facebook, I presume, where you'd been doing that stuff? So how did you transition from doing it all through Facebook to actually making it sell through the website?
Yeah, so obviously at the end of the website challenge, I joined a membership to learn how to then actually run a website, how you drive traffic to a website, all things like that, your Facebook ads. And even then I was still working full time. Friends and family would say to me, "What do you mean you've built a website? Is it really that easy?" And I said, "No, it's not easy." I'd be crying some nights because I just didn't understand. So yeah, obviously with the support of the group that I'm in, we learned how to drive traffic to your website instead of just Facebook. I mean, obviously now the invention of Facebook shops is fantastic for small businesses, but unfortunately Facebook doesn't like to show a lot of my products, because obviously they class them as animal parts or the sale of live animals, which obviously isn't what I'm doing. But obviously with Facebook, it is just a computer analysing your products. So Facebook shops doesn't actually work very well for me. So it is all about driving people to the website. So you say, people want to shop 24/7 nowadays. So if they were messaging me in the middle of the night, I'm messaging them back the next day. It was a very long process. So websites are fantastic now for letting people shop.
Yeah. So do you actually do Facebook ads then, or have you done Facebook ads? I mean, not specifically maybe a Facebook shop, but have you done Facebook ads?
Yeah,
and they've worked for you, have they?
Yeah, really well. So yeah, I've been running Facebook ads for a while now, and retargeting ads. So people have visited your website and not bought, you can give them that little reminder. And yeah, it's fascinating now. So back from that day when I was retargeted with an advert, once you understand it, it's an amazing platform of what you can do with people. I mean, Facebook ads don't work for everyone, but yeah, if you can give them a whirl and you can understand what you're doing, then they really are amazing.
Yeah, and of course I'm seeing your retargeting ads now because I have been on your website. I'm like, oh my God, it's really nice to see that. Actually, I want to take a step back and let's talk, as you mentioned, about the fact that Facebook think that you're selling animal parts, which kind of you are actually.
I am.
I'll be honest, when I first went on your website, so I thought, this sounds really cool. I like the idea of this, because you do hear scare stories and all these weird about what's actually in the dog treats that we buy in kind of supermarkets and stuff, and you think, oh, actually that, do we want to really be feeding them that? So I was very interested when I realized what you did. I went straight to your website obviously and had a little look, and then I'm looking at like chicken feet and duck feet and venison legs and things. I'm thinking, oh, okay, that really natural treats then. So how, I can't imagine where you'd start sourcing those kind of products. I mean, how has that side of the business been? Because it looks, when you're on your website, you have a big selection of products and very varied selection of products as well, don't you? So how is that process of actually finding these treats and making sure that they are natural products? They're not just people kind of, I don't know, trying to pretend that they're natural, which I think is what a lot of suppliers do, don't they, these days?
Yeah. Obviously the pet industry isn't regulated as strictly as human food. So you can put natural on anything you want, and it's not always the case. So yeah, it is just about being careful. So obviously I vet my suppliers strictly, always making sure I get samples of items before we get them in. And obviously my dogs like to test them all.
Of course.
So yeah, but yeah, it's very varied now. So a lot of people want UK only, and a lot of my treats are, but the likes of, I've got ostrich that we sell, and let's face it, there isn't many ostriches in England. So they are from Africa, South Africa, but obviously it's sustainable for them to ostriches as a normal as a cow for us. So so I will say, a lot of people say, oh, they all only UK. I say no, but yeah, they are all sustainable, and I like to think of it as using animal parts that otherwise will be wasted. So particularly a lot of the beef products are offcuts from the food industry. So yeah, we like to make sure the dogs get the best, but yeah, it's not wasted animal parts.
No. So I was going to ask you actually, but you answered the question about whether you source everything from the UK, but obviously you do it worldwide. Have you found any, because I know a lot of people have found such challenges once we hit Brexit when they were importing things. Do you directly import things, or do you just use British suppliers who do the importing? Has that affected you at all with Brexit?
Mostly I just get from people already in the UK. But yeah, there has been a few challenges, but yeah, we've managed to overcome them, so we're okay.
Yeah, that's good, because it's a lot of people are having real trouble, aren't they, with stuff stuck in customs for goodness knows how long, but it's a real nightmare. But good that you don't have that problem anyway. So when you're in your day-to-day running of your business, what is the thing that you find the most challenging? Because you're doing it full time now, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. So
do you do everything?
Yes, I do everything. So I do I do everything myself at the moment. So
okay, so I'll start off with a good question. Which is your favorite bit of running the business?
Just talking to dog owners. I love it when people send me pictures and they send me videos of the dogs. So yeah, it's great talking to people. You must
get dogs. To know some really nice, cool people with very cool dogs, I imagine, doing your kind of job. Yeah. And so what, on the other side of the coin then, what do you find the most challenging part of it?
Bookkeeping. So yeah, I now have an accountant, so I suppose I don't do everything myself now. So yeah, that was the first thing that I outsourced, was the bookkeeping. I'm not that good at spreadsheets and stuff like that, and I don't enjoy it. So it was always getting left till the end of the month that didn't get done, and that's not something that you want to get messed up. So yeah, I don't do the accounts. So I just send her all my info, and that's
a very wise woman. I mean, I'm trained in bookkeeping and accounts, and I still do mine, but I'm just got to the point where, like, do you know what? I can do it, but I think this year is going to be the year where I actually pay somebody else to do it. But yeah, because you don't need the stress either. That's the one thing with bookkeeping and a lot of people, that it's not just the time it takes you and that you don't enjoy, that you could be doing something much more fun and much more productive. It's actually a really stressful side if you're worrying that you haven't got it right, or is the tax man going to come and knock on my door or whatever. So yeah, but wise move. So do you you actually ship and pack the parcels yourself, or do you have
we've got a courier now. Rather than Royal Mail, I've got a track courier now, so they collect from me every day. And so we ship to anywhere in the UK.
Amazing.
We don't ship outside of the UK just because of customs.
I must imagine that would be a potential nightmare. Customs, what's in the bag? Some cow's ears and bull's knees and things like that. Yeah, that would be a bit of a challenge, I'm guessing. So you've obviously in the last year have just gone from, as you say, just a side hustle effectively to being a full-time job, really thriving business. what's the plan for the next sort of year, 5 years, 10 years? Have you got a big vision in mind, or are you just taking every day as it comes and kind of rolling with it as it goes?
Yeah, so when I quit my job last March, I made myself some targets, and actually those targets they've increased tenfold this year. So it's been an amazing year. So I've doubled my sales target for this financial year now.
Yeah.
So we're growing bigger and better, and I hope to take on a member of staff this year to help me with the orders.
Oh, that would be great, won't it?
Yeah, and then get some more help with advertising. Obviously, I'm moving into Google Ads now.
Yeah.
Just because the last year I haven't had the time to invest, to sit down and do them properly. So, it's great Facebook advertising and Google Ads, but if you don't actually understand what you're doing, you could just be wasting your money.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if people are running Facebook ads and they actually don't know if it's bringing them any money in, it is just a bit of a waste of money. So it's about putting your time, your energy, and your money in the right place at the right time. So hoping to get somebody to help me with orders, and then get support with my advertising.
Yeah, because I mean, then it's kind of sustainable then, isn't it? You can kind of, that's what I love about paid advertising, is you can, like, when you're, if you get way too busy, you can just say, pull it back a little bit so that you can have a moment, catch up, pause, breathe, and then you're away again, aren't you? It's amazing, and amazing that you can do that. But as you say, really important that it's working. It surprises me how many people spend all this money on Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever, and they don't actually know whether it's working. It astounds me. But anyway, that's a different conversation. We're not talking about that today. So I'd like to kind of take you back to when you first started. If there was, would you do anything differently looking back, now that you've got the experience of, the last year, 18 months, and you are where you are? Would you have done anything differently when you were starting out, do you think?
I mean, I like how it's progressed. It slowly at first did give me time to learn things, but I probably would have gone part-time in my day job a lot earlier than keeping full-time and then just quitting. I probably would have cut hours back earlier and put more hours into the business. But no, I don't regret it at all. It's been absolutely amazing.
And what if you could, if I was coming to you now saying, oh, I've got this idea and I want to do this, whatever, a similar thing, what advice would you give to somebody, a friend maybe, who was thinking about doing the same thing? Not necessarily e-commerce, but just the fact that you've gone from a full-time job to running your own business, because it's a very different mindset. It's a very different set of problems running your own business, isn't it, to actually having a paycheck at the end of the month. What advice would you give a friend if they came to you thinking that they would like to do the same?
I'd say, just know that it's not easy. I do, I think some people, there's two sets of people in my life. People that look at me and think, wow, that was really easy for her, but they don't see the time and the pressure that you do put in at home. And there's some people that think, oh, she just sits at home all day cuddling the dogs. Oh, that's easy. It's really not easy. But on the other hand, it is an amazing journey. So go for it. But be careful where you take your advice from. So, I don't ask my friends and family to look at my website and give me feedback, because, they are not my ideal customers. And would they really give me the honest advice that I need? So, try and get yourself some honest advice. It's not people being brutal with you, but there's no point in people saying, oh, your website's really great, if actually people find it really difficult to check out, then they're not going to buy with you. So get honest advice, probably from outside of your inner circle.
Yeah, that's really good advice, actually. I wholeheartedly agree with that, because as you say, I mean, family and friends, they're well-meaning, but sometimes you just need somebody to come back and say, right, okay, this is good, but you need this or you need that. And friends and family, and the friends and family very often just don't get it. They don't just get the whole.
My mum quite often rang me up and said, are you watching Loose Women? And I'm like, no, I'm working. yeah, but you're at home, so aren't you watching TV? And I'm like, she just did not get it at all,
No.
that it was actually a real business and I was actually busy.
Yeah, and like the phone's ringing all the time, and because you're at home, or people dropping in for, well, not now obviously, but you know, somebody just dropping, oh, I was just passing by, so I thought I'd drop in for coffee because I knew you'd be at home. Yeah. But I suppose that's an important part of what we have to do as business owners, isn't it, is to establish those boundaries with people. And actually, I'm not very good at this, I don't know how you are with this, but actually, if the phone rings, I always feel I need to answer it. And but sometimes I think we need to take the responsibility, don't we, sometimes, to say, okay, I'm not going to answer that phone because I'm in the middle of something, or to say, look, I'd love to chat, but I'm really busy, can I call you back later? So I don't know, are you good at that side of things, or do you kind of just
Yeah,
chat for
no.
half an hour and think, oh no, I should have got too much to do?
Sometimes I don't mind people ringing me, because I will say I can talk to you, but I'm still packing orders at the same
Yeah,
time. So you might be noisy, but it's when people constantly message me and you stop to look at that message, then you reply,
yeah,
and it really interrupts your day. So sometimes I do have to say, right, I'm turning the messages off for an hour and cracking on. But yeah, it is really difficult.
it's an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, you know, if I was at my day job, people wouldn't expect me to be answering
Yeah,
messages because I'd be at
yeah,
work. So yeah, it is. It's really important, you know, in your
yeah,
business to
yeah.
give it the time.
Yeah, but then I suppose we have the plus side on the other side, is that if something happens, if there's an emergency, you can actually, if you really really need to, you can drop it and go, and you don't have to ask somebody's permission to leave. So I guess there's the pros and the cons of, as with everything, isn't there?
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
I love the flexibility of being
yeah,
able to make my own schedule. So quite often do meet up with friends in an afternoon for walk the dogs for an hour.
yeah,
You know, it's quite easy to give myself that hour off. But then I will go home and do, you know, hours work 7 till 8 or something,
mm,
because I have still got things to do. But
yeah,
you know, that's my choice, and if that fits in with my life, then that's fine.
yeah. And as long as it's your choice, then that's the important part, and you're still getting lots of fulfillment from the work and from the business. So that's the main thing, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah. um it's been lovely chatting to you. I really enjoyed it, actually, and I am going to head over to your website now and carry on looking to try and figure out what little treats to get for Ollie. I do wish you a lot of success with this, because it's a brilliant product, and I think so many more people are being aware of wanting something that's more natural. And I know a lot of people are into raw dog food and everything at the moment, aren't they? So it's definitely a huge market, and I wish you every success, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how far you can take this, and you know, seeing your success in the coming months and years. And yeah, thanks ever so much for talking to me, it's been great.
Thank you.